Hey AunTeas, it's Jashaun Williams from Seattle. What's brewing today?
Ask your aunties. Feeling sexy.
The Women of Change Award goes to my mom.
Yes, and getting petty with Pelosi. So get your cups ready for MinoriTea Report.
Hey, aunties.
Hey, auntie.
Hey, girls.
Aunties.
How are we doing this morning?
Doing well. I was in a actually, I'm not even gonna lie. I was in the mood today. I was just one of them days.
Wanna be?
I don't know. It was just irritable. You just have them days where you don't know what irritated you. Nothing made you irritated. You're just irritable. That's how I was today.
She got that new job. She got that new job. She out there, cycling with all her work homies, been synced up, and now she's having the after effects.
It must be. And it's just been a busy week, so I might just be tired. That might be what it is. But it was an irritable day. But I'm with my aunties now, so I'm good. Okay. We were just singing This Is How We Do It by Montel, so that got me a little lit before we hopped onto the mic.
Elevated the serotonin, huh?
Boom, 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 boom.
No, I feel you.
Boom,
I was kind of in the mood today, too. I don't know. I had my review at work, and I just kind of put me in not a sour mood, but I'm just like, okay, what are we doing? Where is this going? I just got so many questions and I didn't have enough answers.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I don't know. And I know I told y'all this before. I didn't give you guys the whole details, but as someone that works in my job, this whole time he had been working at my job, I thought he was family. I thought he was gay. Turns out that he is married and got children. And I was like, oh, my bad. I was like,
wait, what made you think he was gay? Did he do I don't want to put you in a situation where you spill it all day tea, but were they flirting? Were they putting their hand on people's back? There's certain gestures and certain. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, again, I work from home, so all I have is just sound.
Okay.
And his mannerism when he talks is very so yeah, I was thinking about this the other day, and I was trying to do this at work today. Would you mind helping me out with this? And I'm like,
it's like, hey girl, yes I will.
Yeah, I got you. I was literally, I was to the point where I was like, oh hey boo, how you doing? I got you.
Right.
And not one time did he check me and be like, I ain't your boo, or I don't got sugar in my tank. He ain't say nothing. He just let me keep going on about my business, being like, hey boo, yeah, I got you, and all this other stuff.
Right.
But
how did you find out? Who told you?
It was part of a presentation. Getting to know your colleagues.
It said, number one, I am not gay.
I tell you, that screen popped up. I said, ooh, my bad.
That is funny. That's funny because on YouTube, do you watch the Bon Appetit channel at all?
Yes, I do.
There's one guy on there, Chris Morocco, I think, the tall, slender white guy.
Mm-hmm.
That I, as well, just his mannerisms and things like that. And not that all people that have certain mannerisms are gay. So, I don't want to propel that stereotype. However, there are certain people that have certain mannerisms that are gay, and then you associate them with other people.
Well, that they're effeminate is what you're saying.
It may be a little more effeminate and things like that. Or just, fluid with the movements. And anyway, I'm trying not to dig myself a hole. But, same thing. Whole time for the last year and a half watching this channel, thought he was a gay guy, and one episode he mentioned his wife and kids, and I said, I'm like, wife and kids? Wait, time out. Houseway. So I completely get that, where you're just thrown off for a bit, but you're like, hey, it is what it is.
I mean, that's what it is. Exactly. I don't care. I just feel kind of dumb for just assuming, because how sometimes you can clock somebody from across the street and you be like,
Mm-hmm.
We see each other.
We see
like
each
Javon say,
other.
we see each other.
That's true.
And so that's what I thought. It was one of those moments, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't see shit. I don't know shit."
Do you believe in Gaydar?
What'd you say?
Do you believe in Gaydar?
I do.
I think I do too. Like,
I do too.
I would say my Gaydar is pretty damn good. My husband's Corey, horrible. Horrible. Like, he does not sense it, or then when he thinks he senses it, I'm like, girl, you way off. You're way off. And sure enough, way off.
It'll be funny. Like, actually, last month we were at a party. Fizzik and I were at a party for one of our friends. They just got their green card, so they were celebrating their citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this attractive man that came into came to the party, and of course, all the gays were like, "What team? Is he on the home team or the away team? Which one?"
The physical assessment begins.
So of course, one of our friends goes around and he literally asks all the gays. Now we play gay or straight. And me and one other friend was like, "Nah, he's straight." Like, look at his hair; it was just too much product in there. Like the way he was standing was like, it was like a bit of a man spread, like
Okay.
I
could tell by the shoes. That's what I look at first.
Mm-hmm. And I also looked at the jeans because the jeans weren't as as form fitting as most of us like them to be.
Show this figure, honey.
Right. But yeah, no, it's crazy that some people are good at it and some people aren't. But I mean, like, if they find the imagination tends to mess up your gaydar because you just be hoping and wishing, but like, I wish you did play on my team.
Yes, that is.
Get me kicked off this team. Get me kicked off. Okay, I'm getting suspended today. Like,
that is true. It's like, let my fantasy go, honey.
Right.
Sweet
I never go by
fantasy,
like what like someone's wearing or like even like their affect. Like, it's just, I always get like the feeling. If there's like something like,
where's the feeling at, Dewan?
Right. I was gonna say, you wait to the bedroom. Is that where you wait to the feeling?
Get a little tingling down under.
Right. Until I'm inside of him, I don't know if he's gay or not.
He got quiet on that.
what is there to say?
Dewan always have an answer back.
What is there to say?
Good morning, community.
Good morning, y'all. Monday.
But you know who did, like, who on the opposite side of it? Somebody that just, I can't believe is straight. It's a guy that plays Will on Will and Grace.
Oh, Eric McCormick. Is it Eric McCormick?
Eric McCormick.
Wait, hold on. What?
I can't believe he's straight. Like,
in real life. Oh.
News to me, bitch. I had no idea.
You know what? You know that meme of that black girl coming through the door? That's her.
Jarrell was today years old when he found out.
Yes, girl, he is straight.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like 20 years behind on this. Goddamn.
Yeah,
he's all the way straight.
All the way straight, girl.
And it's so funny because, like, I always forget I watch him and I don't even think about it. But then I'll see him on this one episode of Law and Order SVU that comes on, and he plays a straight man. He plays this straight man who apparently has, like, sleeps with tons of prostitutes and blah, blah, blah. But he's like this owner of some big company. But the whole time he's in this, I'm looking at him like, you look gay as fuck. Like, and this was in the early 2000s, where it was a lot of like metrosexual. So you had a lot of like, straight guys would like put a lot of like gel in their hair and make it like crusty and flat and shit.
And frosted tips and
exactly. The shirts were like lime color green, but they were like triple XLs because they didn't really fit into. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
Straights used to dress like that way back then. So I'm just still like looking at them just like,
correction,
oh my God.
some still do.
Ooh.
Now that's
right.
T.
You right.
We've seen some folks caught in a fashion time warp.
Ooh, that is a true statement. You ain't never lied on that.
I guess before we get too far in the episode, we should thank Jashaun for bringing us in.
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, boo.
Yes.
Making that brew. Are you still making that brew? I'm trying to think. I guess I haven't looked on the Instagram in a while.
Yeah, he's one of the for the community. He's one of the baristas at the Dream Boys coffee shop here in Seattle. So where the baristas, being nothing but a bow tie and some cute little, Spanx,
some little breach,
showing all the muscles and everything like that.
Yes. Little ball jacks.
Look, they don't sell cake, but you'll see some cakes.
Ooh. Hey. Some bunk cakes. Let me get a bunk cake with my coffee brew. But yes, thank you for opening this show. That's very kind for you to do. And that's one of those situations like, are they gay or are they not gay?
He's straight.
Definitely straight, for sure.
He's
definitely straight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just playing with us gays' emotions. Thanks.
I know. I mean, like Beyonce say, if you got it, flaunt it. Oh, I know you want it. Sure do. A 2-piece and a biscuit.
Oh, man. Obey your thirst, Sprite. Thanks.
Right.
Speaking of Beyonce, you see she was sitting all the way down at the Super Bowl. And everybody's up in an uproar. I'm tired of people in an uproar. I think we talked about it last week. Like, people in uproar for no damn reason. They're going to forget about it in a week.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things I just feel like, especially the non-POC community, they will look for any reason to drag a POC celebrity or try to be upset about something. I mean, when she came in during Coldplay's halftime Super Bowl, and they're like, "Oh my God, she's wearing that Black Panther."
The Super Bowl?
Yeah, that was Coldplay, Bruno Mars, and her when she came out for Formation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing.
Oh,
I was being petty and shady. I thought it was the Bruno and Beyonce show.
Yeah,
anyway.
Right.
Facts.
But even then they were like, "Oh my gosh, she came out in that Black Panther outfit, and she was dressed in this kind of way, and blah 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 blah." And it was just like,
girl,
really?
bye.
Y'all trying it.
I remember that summer because that summer, Corey and I might have told this on here. Corey and I were up north in Michigan for the summer, and some family friends were in uproar about Beyonce and that political statement she made at the Super Bowl. We don't watch the Super Bowl to watch political statements and this, and I was like, and it took all my mic to shut up because I was like, okay, this is not the time or place. We're on vacay. We like out here barbecuing and chilling. I'm not about to create an uproar. But I was like, dear God, you guys are ridiculous sometimes. I swear. Like, it's not that deep, but it is that deep.
Right.
And you expect your superstars to have a point of view.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter where they do it at.
Yeah. I think people forget that like celebrities have a voice too, and they're human just like the rest of us. And they don't work for us, okay?
Nope.
They're not your damn employees. They don't have to do what the fuck you say they want to do. They got their own goddamn ass lives.
Mm.
I mean, they may have more money and be more lavish, and they may be up, on some hill with this bomb-ass house or whatever. But guess what? A bunch of their asses go through depression and suicide thoughts and drug abuse and all rest sorts of shit, just like the next person down the line. So,
especially at that level of a Beyonce and a Jay-Z, there's not that many people of color on their economic level.
Right.
So they're even more probably feeling some of the effects of racism and things. Yes, they have the money to kind of be like, whatever, I got money, bitch. But I think it was Oprah said, like she said, just the higher she got, almost the more lonely she got because there were less and less people who understood where she came from, And
let's just remember that the artists that are playing at the Super Bowl actually pay.
Yes, they
Yes,
they are not getting paid
do.
they actually pay to be a part of it. So they can, if they want to use that platform to be political, they pay to do that. So you need to be mad at the NFL for picking up somebody who has that capacity.
Facts.
Because they paid to play.
Yeah, to entertain your ass.
right.
But Jay did come out, so I guess Jay-Z is doing a series of talks at Columbia University. So they asked him directly.
Oh, really?
They're like, was this a political statement? Were you making a statement? He was like, no, sorry. Like, I saw everybody talking about that, oh, we were trying to make this silent protest. That's why we sat during the national anthem. He's like, literally, that's not it at all. Sorry to burst your bubble. We sat because we're executive producers of the halftime show and the national anthem and everything. So we were looking at it like making sure everything was going okay. We weren't even thinking anything. We were literally almost working at that point. And we weren't thinking about national anthem. We weren't thinking about anything. We're like, okay, is her mic loud enough? Da 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 da. And he was just saying, and B, we wouldn't put our 8-year-old daughter through that. They're like, we're not going to sit Blue Ivy down and say, we're about to make a silent protest today, and we're going to sit during the national anthem and put all that on her as well as a parent. And then he said, and then C, he's like, I don't need to be silent about shit. He's like, I ain't got to be silent protesting nothing. He's like, look at the halftime show. I'm the executive producer of this. I made my statement loud and clear of what we're doing here. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, now you better preach on that point.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't buy it.
You don't buy it?
I don't
You
buy
think they
it.
were making a statement?
Everyone knows the goddamn national anthem. You stand up and you put your goddamn hand on your heart. I don't buy that for a single damn minute.
See, I
that
agree
you
with
don't
you, Jarrell.
understand what the national anthem is about and what it symbolizes when you do it. We always do it. That's how you grew up in school before they took it out of the damn school. And they old enough to be in school when it was actually happening. So I don't buy that for a minute that they weren't thinking about any of this other stuff. And honestly, I think it was a statement. And I think that personally because I think now being part of the halftime show, I think he's kind of backtracking on some of the stuff that he was saying about Colin Kaepernick and how he made that comment about how the kneeling was over years ago and it's not that much of a big deal now. And I think maybe executive producing the halftime show and probably some of the doors that he had to either knock down, rebuild, and all the hoops that he had to jump through has probably opened his eyes to it. Because even Colin Kaepernick was like, I wish you would have said something, at least apologize or blah, blah, blah. He threw them under the bus for sitting down,
I saw
actually,
that.
too.
Yeah, I don't know. But at the end of the day, whether he meant it or not, it made a statement.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever a statement or a political agenda if you don't agree with the national. At this point, you either believe that the national anthem stands and is inclusive as the song says it is, or you don't. And I don't think that's protesting anymore. I think it's just a fact. You just either agree or you disagree. Until things change, I don't know.
But I know Dewan's homegirl, so Dewan's a big fan of Wendy Williams, and she was talking about on her show, and she was like, if you don't want to stand, then get out the country. Telling Beyonce and Jay-Z that. And I'm like, that's not the most cool moment. I'm like, Wendy, what the hell are you talking about? Literally, my mouth agape. I was like, shut up, Wendy. I feel sometimes Wendy just says shit just to get an uproar out of people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
That's what she gets paid to do.
I agree.
That's her job.
However, your ass is black. So that means if they got to get out the country, your ass getting out the country right with them.
No, you know what? She got money, so she said, I'm sitting good right here with my coins.
She's not messing up her coin.
Well, I mean, JB got way more coin than her, so she gonna leave way before they do. But I feel like statements like that hurt more than your fuck your coin purse at a certain point, because now you're sounding like literally every other extremist white person. That's always their go-to.
I think it's important for everybody listening to realize that not everything that you see and hear on television or on the radio or wherever you hear it about these celebrities and what they're doing is true.
Absolutely.
We don't know behind the scenes whether or not this was a whole media stunt, by the Carter Knowles to have, them
to
not
have
standing,
Wendy Williams talk though,
and to have Wendy Williams, be a part of it. I'm just saying, I think people can probably blow things a little bit out of proportion with this kind of a story. Because, it's really not a story. It's not, I can't believe one bit that Wendy Williams actually believes this, like, oh, well, if you don't stand for the anthem, you have to like get out. Like
Then don't
she's
say
even
it.
said,
Then don't say it.
but again,
Don't say it. At the end of the day, don't say it. Like
it goes back
there's
to the
other
point
ways.
it goes back to the point that her business is to be in entertainment. Her business is to
Absolutely.
get people talking. And
Absolutely.
it's her ability to be as disruptive as possible within the confines of legalities.
Right.
You
But
know,
guess what?
But to get people talking.
That's why we got a podcast too, and I'm telling her ass to shut up. How about that?
I would just save my energy for somebody that's worth it. That's what I would do.
agree. She's definitely not worth it. And after this conversation, I'm probably gonna forget. But I still feel, even as entertaining as you want to be, there's going to be repercussions of shit you say. And if you're going to say something like that of a narrative that other people are already putting on your same race, fuck out of here. I was already through with you before.
Wendy's been known to put her foot in her mouth, them crusty bunions in her mouth plenty of times, So I'm not surprised to hear her say something like that.
She was wearing an Ivy Park dress. So I was like, come on, you're just trying to be extra sensationalized today, Wendy. Your ratings ain't hurting that bad, are they?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't watch it.
Me either.
You helping her ratings.
That's DeJuan's homegirl.
I said 2 words. You've been going on about this.
Right.
You the one that be going to the show tapers all the time. So
I do. It's a lot of fun. Girl, it's a party backstage. You don't even know.
Oh, Lord. Anyway, what y'all thinking about this other uproar of Shakira and JLO?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, can I just say kudos to the both of them. Like, I'm not like a huge JLo fan at all. And Shakira's like, from back in the day. But I think they just did a phenomenal job. I absolutely loved Shakira's backup dancers, the women. There was so much diversity. She had more dark-skinned girls on her squad than JLo did.
She sure did.
And it was
were all
noticeable.
Chick-fil-A Knight's homegirls. So the guy that does Beyonce's choreography is the one that did the halftime show for Shakira. And a lot of the assistant choreographers underneath him are Beyonce's dancers as well. And a lot of them are those black women that you saw out there. So I agree. She definitely had a very diverse
it was noticeable, but it was also beautiful.
Yeah.
And it was very jarring when JLo came out and then her squad shows up and it's just like white faces. And
I think there was Hispanic because
it was Hispanic. It wasn't a bunch of white people.
I'm not saying that they're like their heritage that they're actually white. I'm just saying there was all white faces.
Oh, well, I don't know.
There was one black girl, one dark skinned girl. Not dark skin, but darker.
So fun fact, the dancers that dance for JLo, they're called the Royal Family. They're that dance crew that you see those videos when they're at the dance competition. They be doing the mixes to Beyonce and all the other ones. That's them. And they were the same ones that opened up for her, I believe, at the Billboards a few years ago when she had that tight leopard and she slayed her opening when she was hosting the Billboards. Or was it the AMAs? It was
Might have been the AMAs.
I think it was the AMAs. But anyways, that was the same dancers from that group. So it wasn't that she went and selected individual dancers, as she called on those dancers, and they actually created all the choreography themselves. Yeah, and then they taught it to JLo. So I like the fact that she called on a group that's not, that's kind of famous, but at the same time they're not really. And gave them the freedom to be creative and gave them like a platform to be like, okay, show the world what y'all got. So I appreciated that. Oh, Gary,
that's the show that needed to happen more often, because I found myself when the men came out behind JLo, and then my eyes, I'm like, you start looking at them to see like who looks like what, whatever. And then all the camera kept moving away from them and just showing JLo, and I'd be like, damn.
I know.
When you play like peeking around the TV screen, like you can see,
right?
Like you gonna see them on the other side. I'm like, where they go?
I looked them up on IG. I was like, okay, let's look these bitches up on IG, man, because they were pretty.
Yeah,
I will say, I think my favorite thing about the Super Bowl performance was that it didn't feel like a competition between two women.
That's a good point.
It felt
I
like
agree.
two women coming together and making a statement as equals.
Mhm.
And I really, really appreciated that. And I love that JLo brought her daughter out and sang
right.
that song as well. And like the representation of like the kids in the cages.
Mhm.
She came out with the Puerto Rican flag. I was just here for her. Like, both
and even
of
the
them
Puerto
were
Rican
great.
flag had like the American flag on the reverse side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Showing that we are literally like the same like cloth.
Yes.
Like they are Americans. They are part of America, people.
Yes.
Like, don't get it twisted.
Yes.
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. They killed the dance routines. Like, they were sexy as hell. They represented the culture. Their culture. Let's get that out there, because people are like, oh, why are they grinding and all this shit? No. It's called cultural dances. Just because your ass can't dance like that doesn't mean it's nasty and like over sexualized. Like, get out that. Like, I'm tired of that narrative. Like, get you some seasoning and learn a dance or two.
Anything will be hypersexualized compared to the hokey pokey.
Shut up.
Yeah. Like,
Not the hokey pokey.
or the waltz.
That's what it's all
Nothing
about.
but like two cardboard pieces rubbing up against each other, swinging themselves around.
So yeah, like they killed it. It was the best one that's been, and it's the best halftime show in a while since probably Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's literally.
Yeah.
Because who was last year? Oh, last year was Maroon 5. Oh.
Actually, I will say this: Lady Gaga wasn't bad.
You know,
I liked Lady
went and
Gaga.
watched hers
That
again.
was a good follow up to after Beyonce came out. Lady Gaga, her vocals were on point, and she actually sang live because I rewatched it too.
Yep.
I was like, that girl did her damn thing. She
was
danced,
jamming.
she sang, she performed.
I love how hokey like Gaga is.
Yes.
And then what you guys think of Demi and the national anthem?
She was phenomenal. I was very impressed with her singing the national anthem. I thought she did a great job. And I love seeing that, like, 10 years ago, she had tweeted that she had a dream. She's like, one day I'm going to sing the national anthem at the Super Bowl. And literally 10 years later, she sang it. I was just like, come on now. Like, you got to speak that stuff in existence. Yeah, we say it all the time. Go for it.
Self-manifestation.
Mm-hmm.
Yolanda Adams killed God Bless America, too. So, I was happy with the entertainment. I was happy with it.
I didn't know that, because I saw it like a couple days ago. I didn't know that what was aired during the actual Super Bowl was not what was aired like on like other outlets, because Adam and I were watching like something on Netflix, and then we watched the last episode of that. And then when it was done, the Super Bowl was still on. So he was like, oh, how do we get to see, the performance for the halftime show? So I just pulled it up on YouTube and it was there. And then I saw the little scene where Shakira, and she's like sticks her tongue out and does that little, whatever that was. And as soon as we saw that, we both looked at each other and was like, that's going to be a meme tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
But then it wasn't until a couple of days later that I saw that didn't air. Apparently there was a different airing of what's on the internet and what was actually shown live.
Oh, really? Because I saw that live. Huh.
I thought it was cool that it was a cultural reference and anything else. Because I remember when I saw it live too on the Super Bowl, I was like, what was that?
Yeah,
like,
Corey educated me like instantly. He's like, oh, she's half Lebanese, right? I was like, oh shit, look at you giving me the cultural moment.
I didn't know that either.
Because Corey's half Lebanese. And so he's like, that's like a cultural greeting. I was like, okay, girl, you better educate me.
Yep, I had no idea. So I thought that was really cool to do something like that.
I like that they integrated a lot of cultural heritage into the performances, and it actually starts a conversation like the one that we're having right now. And there may be some things that are so like common to other people that may be foreign to some people, and because they see it as not their experience, it causes the opportunity for these kinds of conversations to happen. So y'all remember when Missy Elliott performed at the Super Bowl
with Katy Perry?
Yeah. Everybody thought it was a Missy Elliott concert.
Oh, it wasn't.
Let me tell you, I didn't block that whole thing out because I was just so done with Katy Perry's. I forgot that Missy because she was in the middle of it. So look, I didn't just threw the whole performance away. I forgot.
Now, what do you have going on against Katy Perry?
All Katy Perry.
Like, that's a very visceral reaction that you still have today.
You know what? My issue is she gives me songs that are bops, but then she fucks them up live, and then she fucks up the music videos. Oh. And then just all my visual aid just goes out the window.
Yeah.
And like, now you done planted this horrible image, so every time I hear the damn song, I see the image in my head. Yeah. And I just, next. Like, nope.
Yeah, because Swish Swish should have been such a massive hit.
Yeah.
And she messed it up with that dumbass video.
Man, she fucked that all the way up. I remember it came out, and it was just like, we're like, oh, bitch, let's vote.
Right.
This is going to be great. Ow, yes, work, sis, twirl, And then she came out with that wannabe spinoff of Space Jam music video. Yeah. And I said, bitch, what?
I know.
Canceled. Canceled.
Delete.
I remember watching right after that came out, she was on Saturday Night Live. And I usually I DVR the first night, and then the next morning on Sunday at some point I'll watch it. And I watched it. And they had the little like boy doing what is it called?
Yeah,
okay, I was gonna say the zipper, but
not the zipper, girl.
So, but he was like the main part of the show, and it was just like so awkward to watch. It was so weird.
He stole the show. Like, literally, he introduced a new dance to America, and everyone forgets that it was Katy Perry's performance.
Right. Well, it was also weird because she also came up with the drag queens, and they were dancing on the table.
Right.
And then, like, she did it. I forgot the other song that she did, but who was it? Was it the Migos that she did a song with, or someone?
It was, and they were like that.
We ain't doing no performance with no drag queens. So we, you better put them in the other song because they ain't coming out here with us. That whole performance of her was it was a mess.
It was cringeworthy.
Yeah, and
but you know what? I will say this. Whoever her makeup stylist is, be beating the fuck out of her face.
Beating the mess out of her face.
Her makeup always stay on point. And I love her little pissy haircuts. She be doing it.
She's a very pretty woman.
Yeah. I love seeing her on the CoverGirl commercials. Like, I
just wonder if she's like kind of like gimmicked herself into a hole. Because if I think about like what could she do, she doesn't really have that great of a singing voice.
She can hold a note.
She can, but I mean...
keyword, note. How many is there?
7. Well, if we're not counting sharps. Anyway.
I don't know. And maybe this is my own thing, but like I've kind of pigeonholed her into like this one lane. And now I can't imagine her doing anything else. Like if she came out with like a mature, sexy, I Found Myself kind of album.
Like a velvet rope.
What would that sound like? Right, would she be able to pull it off? You know what I mean?
I feel like it's kind of like Lady Gaga. I've done the same thing with Lady Gaga. Like when she came out with the John Wayne album, I was like,
right.
You said a John Wayne?
Yeah. Isn't that the name of her album? Oh, no, it's called Joanne. It's called Joanne.
Oh, I thought that was a read.
No. The name of the song that she first released was called John Wayne. But Joanne? I think it's called Joanne.
It's Joanne.
It's named after her. Yeah, named after her grandma. Yeah. But I mean, like that album, I was like, no, who is this? Right. Go back.
Yeah. There was just no transition.
Yeah. The internet did a sneak peek of supposedly the new Lady Gaga song a couple weeks ago, and the internet was going crazy. Twitter was going crazy, and it's been silent since. So we'll see. But you know who else? It sounds like might be releasing something because she's going to be on Jimmy Fallon. I think the week this episode comes out, Janet Jackson, bitch.
Okay.
And like her Instagram caption said, "Surprise, Jimmy Fallon." February 13th or something, 10th or something like that. It might be the Monday or Tuesday that this episode comes out. So if y'all some Janet fans like we are, Watch
gonna
Jimmy
catch
Fallon.
And I will be watching. I'll be watching.
Same here. Oof.
Speaking of Black people, we should also
ahead.
talk about the Black history moments
Yes.
during today. Just to do a little education read here. So on February 10th, on 1964, after 12 days of debate and voting on 125 amendments, the U.S. House of Representatives passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Yeah.
So that's one of your fun
Yes.
facts, that today is when the Civil Rights Act was passed. And then also on February 12th of 1909, the National Association for Advancement of Colored People, the NAACP, was founded. So another little tidbit there.
All
for
right.
you.
Yes, and
That's awesome.
the NAACP Image Awards are later this month, so we'll make sure to be watching and tweeting and all that stuff for that. I think it's February 22nd, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's right.
And then I have my own personal Black history moment. I need to shout out my mother, Linda. Hey, Ma. She's right now, back home, she's being recognized in the community that I grew up in. At the Midland Center for the Arts, they're doing an exhibit honoring women of change. And it's a part of a larger Women in American History exhibit that they're doing at the Midland Historic Society. So they've honored my mom for her sustained impact on the community, which is awesome. Like, because I didn't know they were giving this to her. And so my dad just surprised everybody and said, surprise, your mom's getting honored. I'm like, what? I'm like, okay, go ahead, girl. Do the damn thing. So I'm very, very, very proud of her. So, Mom, I know you listen every week. You let me know. You give me the little tidbits of what we said.
Oh, that's awesome.
So,
Congratulations.
love you, Mom. So that's my own little personal Black history. Come on, Mom. Black,
Yes.
black. And honestly, like both her and my father, just like what they've done in the community up there, especially Midland, Michigan, which is a predominantly white city. To enter that community and establish a church that was predominantly Black. I mean, it's non-denominational, but to go into a community like that and then impact the community for the last 30 years.
Wow.
Hey, that's
awesome.
That's wild, you know, and to literally raise a family and still keep your day jobs and all that stuff. The older I've gotten, I understand how tired they must be. Growing up, you don't think about it. Girl, because I mean, like, you got to think, you have your day job and doing well professionally. Then you have the church community and people that need you. And then you're raising 3 kids that are like in band and track and basketball and everything underneath the moon, and literally never skip a beat. Like, I never felt like my parents weren't there. And I didn't understand that concept until I got older, where you know the demands of a job, know the demands of a relationship, know the demands of friends, know that, you know, and then to add church and everything on top of it. Woo, I ain't cut out for it. So kudos to y'all. So congrats, Black History Month moment for them. That's a personal one for me. So love you guys. Should we get into Ask Your Aunties? I think it might be that time.
Yes.
I think it's that time.
Here we go. What time is it?
Ask
your
aunties.
You have to shimmy that one out.
Shimmy it out, girl. I love a good shimmy moment. So this Ask Your Aunties is going to hit on Valentine's Day. So happy Valentine's Day to our community. And really,
lovers.
okay. Oh,
Shout out to y'all that celebrate that Hallmark holiday.
That's true.
Give them your coins, I guess.
You Hallmark hoes. I can't stand you. But the question is, I saw this somewhere, as people of color, and like specifically even just like Black men of color, you don't often hear what makes you feel sexy. So that's my question this week, actually. So this is my Ask Your Aunties question. What makes you feel sexy? What makes you feel, ooh, I'm feeling good, I'm looking good?
You know, the one time, like, I don't have a physical feature that I'm like, ooh, I like the way that looks. I don't know. I just, for growing up so long, just as a Black man, you don't hear those praises outside of like, oh my God, you cute for a black guy, or
Right.
you know, BBC this, you know, especially like in the gay community,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like a lot of the things that people have associated to me or said to me that they found attractive were just, they're more demeaning than they actually were compliments. But when I look at myself and I have on like a tank, some briefs, some cute briefs, and like some socks, I'm like, ooh, bitch, I would do me. I would do me.
You walk past that mirror like, ooh.
Hey, look.
Look, throw on some red heels and some lipstick. And,
You know,
right.
like, and I guess Fisnick will too.
And if y'all don't know what we're talking about, community, check a couple episodes ago that we did curiosity with our husbands.
But yeah, I don't know. I just like how my thighs and my butt look, and my cute little black briefs. I like, and it has to be all black. I don't need none of those funky, over the top, multicolored. No.
Is there a certain brand that you like than others?
No, I'm not really that picky. I mean, the ones I wear are Calvin Klein's.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's what I like when I see it. I'm like, damn, that's sexy. I'm
okay feeling good.
Yeah. Or like when I'll be playing like volleyball and I'll get this bomb ass kill, and Fin's be watching. I'll be like, what? You know that was hot. Yes.
But that's important. Like literally, it's important to feel good in your body, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think I've ever been asked this question in my life, honestly. Like,
really,
when I saw it, I was like, I don't think anyone has ever asked me.
Same.
When do you feel sexy? They might say, "Oh, Kerel, you look hot in this," or I like whatever. But no one has just come out and just said, "Kerel, when do you feel sexy? When do you feel like you look good or feel good?" You know. So I'll let you go, and then I'll wrap up or whatever.
I feel like for me, the times that I feel the sexiest is when I have the opportunity to dress up, because I don't. With work, I can basically wear whatever I want. So it's shorts in the summertime, sometimes sweats in the wintertime. You know, I'm always dressed, but like I'm much more casual from day to day, and I don't really have opportunities to dress up. And like the last couple of weddings that I've gone to, if I've had like a formal event, which I haven't had one of those in a while. There was a couple like last year, but I feel like when I put on like my shirt, my collared shirt, I put on my dinner jacket, I pull on my slacks, I find some really nice shoes. Just that act of like getting dressed up.
Yeah.
Like that's sexy to me.
I hear you.
And there's a difference between sexy and sexual.
Right.
So
right.
like,
What you trying to say?
Thinking, like,
what you trying to say? I was feeling sexual.
Hey, it is what it is.
Right.
I would say for me, there's a couple. Like when you get that like, haircut, that's just a really good haircut. There's something about your walk. When you walk out that bitch like, bitch, I'm looking good today. I feel good. These hairs are looking right. I would say that's one moment where I'm like, I feel good. I feel good about myself. Another time, which I didn't realize, was actually when I got dressed up for my wedding. And I was like, I feel good. I'm oh, it's going to make me tear up. Wow, this is weird. Wow. Ooh. I think I was happy. And like I felt good. I thought I looked good. And I was about to get married. So that trifecta for me was just like, whoa, this is a cool feeling. Wow, I did not expect to tear up on that. That was weird. And then the third one is I'm with Jarrell. Like sometimes when you just put on that right pair of underwear, you catch a glimpse of yourself in the mirror. You're like, all right, okay.
Right.
I'm feeling all right. I look good at this. I'm feeling this out quite nicely. I definitely like a good pair of underwear. Like whether they look good and just like I don't like an 100% cotton pair, and I think I said that for the wedding episode too. But like there's just certain like a Calvin is just a good brand of underwear. Like they just know how to make a good pair of underwear. And I also like Nasty Pig underwear because they have this right kind of stretch in them too.
Is that the real reason? Is that the real reason?
Hey, all the above. I feel sexy nonetheless. So I would say those are the three. A good haircut, dressing up, because like you, I don't do it as often anymore because the workforce has just gotten quite casual. Like, you don't wear a lot of slacks and things anymore. And then a good pair of underwear. Or a jock or whatever. It might be whatever the form factor.
This is why I said sexy, not sexual.
Hey, it leads one to the other.
I don't know. I like it's weird to be asked this question because, like you said, Kerel, like I don't think I've ever had anyone ask me that. And like when I actually think about it outside of like when I'm by myself, because I only feel that way when I'm by myself. I don't feel that way when I'm around others.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's also part of just being in the gay community and so much of the, you know, the no blacks, no Asians, and, you know, all the negativity that you can experience as a person of color in the gay community.
Yeah.
I think it just wore me down so much that like I find myself like wanting to have a six pack and I want to have like this body, like I want my body to look a certain way. And I was doing all that stuff before because I wanted other people to see me like that.
As sexy.
Right, as sexy. But now it's kind of morphed into my head. Like, that's the only way I find myself sexy, too. You know?
Yeah.
And it's been hard to kind of find other ways that doesn't have to deal with, you know, having a fit body.
Right.
That I can relate to being sexy. You
That's
know,
interesting.
It's crazy that it has to be something physical versus like, you know, reading a book, you know, or some of the stuff like that, you know, like.
Absolutely. And that's interesting you say that. Like, I don't think I've ever felt too much pressure to have like a six pack in this killer body. I think there's definitely pressure within the gay community to look that way because that's the only image that we project 99% of the time. The older I get, it just gets harder to stay in shape. But I think I just adore so many different body types that I've never put that pressure upon myself. Yes, I want to be healthy. And yes, my stomach might be a little bigger than I want it to be right now. But the older I've gotten, I think when I was like in best shape of my life, I don't think I felt as complete as I might now when I'm not in the best shape of my life, if that makes sense, you know? And I think it goes back to that point of like you said, reading a book. Why don't we find that sexy or whatever? I think at least as I get older, and especially the older that I've been in the gay community, you find things that you ultimately hopefully define you and projects a different kind of sexiness out there, and you're fine with that for yourself, you know? Like you kind of do things that make you feel sexy for you, not because it's going to please someone else out there. And it's hard. It's hard. It's not all day, every day that I feel that. There are certain days where you're like, damn, wish my body did look like that, or, ooh, you know? But then there's other times where I'm like, I am completely fine. I'll wear this crop top, belly out, don't give a damn, because I'm cool with myself finally. And I don't want everyone else's projections to come in and disrupt that, because it took forever to finally get to a space where I'm not disrupting my own damn self, you know? It's kind of odd, but there's definitely the pressures within the gay community to look a certain kind of way, sadly.
Yeah. I don't know. Go ahead, boo.
I forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, when you feel sexy. So DeJuan, you were surprised when I said no one had asked me that question. Has someone asked you that question?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Well, that's a good human being whoever asked you. Because that show, like,
I don't know. I feel like when you're dating somebody or in a relationship, like you should be able to have conversations about stuff just like this, you know? And like, when do you feel that you're at your best in life? You know, tell me about that. Like, that's just.
well, I think that's a little slightly different than just like, when do you feel sexy? Like, I don't think me chilling in the mirror in my underwear is when I feel at my best. You know, like there's other options, but like the specifically pinpoint said, Kerel, when do you feel the best in your skin, sexy wise? Never been asked that.
Yeah. No, I've been asked, what are your aspirations? What are your hopes? What are your goals and stuff like that? But yeah, just never something as far as it's personal, intimate like that, as far as how I physically view myself, But, that's also very common, though, in the Black community as a whole, though, or just even POCs, because, so much of how this country is ran is, the value of, the Black coin or the value of the color of your skin, isn't as, it's gotten better. But, back in the day, it wasn't something that was always advertised as there's worth in this, and we can see it in marketing even today, where we have to tell people like, where's your diversity in this, or like we always preach, like representation matters, it's hard to feel sexy or to naturally feel that way when everything that we see, well, the most of what we see in reality isn't reflective of what you look like and isn't saying that's what sexy is.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it's okay to like, and the cool thing too, I guess on this conversation too, is that what you find sexy about yourself might not be what the stereotypical thing in the gay community or society says. Mm-hmm. And that's the cool thing. And that's okay, So that's what I like about that question, because it's just like, there might be parts of your body, there might be whatever that you like, that you're just like, I am so happy with that feature, mm-hmm. that society might not say is the norm, mm-hmm. Whether it be like a jagged tooth or a crooked toe or whatever, but it makes you, whatever is awkward, but it makes you, and I like it. I don't know. So,
yeah, I do feel like we're just taught just systematically not to view our body parts, especially as like Black, just Black people. We're just taught, not to view ourselves as attractive. And oftentimes it's as attractive as compared to, white people. And so I think there are people that fortunately don't struggle with, like comparing themselves to other people, and they sit very comfortably in themselves. There's a whole host of people that are out there that, struggle with that kind of like identity, especially, like if I think about being a young gay Black man, living and going out in a predominantly white community, that brings up a lot of things that you may or may not have recognized. It may take you some time to kind of work through.
Be proud with what you got. It's the only body you have, and like you said, it takes a while to get there. This is Kerel at damn near 36 speaking. So it's taken me a while, and I don't get me wrong, this is not all day, every day. But right now, when I get off this podcast, I'm going to take this shirt and these jeans off and walk by that mirror and be like, yes, bitch.
Yeah. I will say this.
I can't with you.
I will encourage the community to ask themselves this question, and if you find yourself struggling, add that to your list as something to do for 2020 is, mm-hmm. to find that love, that, that sexiness that within yourself. Because it shouldn't be up to someone else to make us feel sexy. We should be able to feel sexy within our own skins by ourselves. Mm-hmm. You don't need nobody. Okay. I got me
today. Feeling myself. I'm feeling So community, continue to send us your Ask Your Aunties questions. We put that out every week, but continue to do so because we love answering these questions. Obviously, I kind of stole and jumped the queue line this week with this this question, but But continue to send those questions. We like answering them, and you guys always comment on this particular segment. So yeah, continue to do so. But back to Valentine's Day, though. Do you guys do Valentine's Day? Do you guys celebrate it? Do you give gifts?
No, we don't. Not Adam and I.
We go back and forth every year. Like last year, I don't think we did anything. I asked Corey this year. He's like, yeah, I want a gift.
Oh, you guys do a whole gift?
It literally fluctuates by year. Like
wow.
Some years, like it might be on the 14th, and we're like, oh, today's Valentine's Day. Oh shit, hey boo, love him. This year it's on a Friday, so I think we're going out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So we're like, okay, it just gives us a reason to do a date night because it's the weekend or whatever. But
yeah, we'll be going skiing with some friends.
You
in
ski?
Leavenworth. Hell no, I don't ski.
You remember, she don't like going to the forest.
Okay, but I'll drink at the damn cabin. Shoot, I'll be drinking at the Airbnb. You know, I'll make sure everyone I'll make sure everyone have fresh hot cocoa with Kahlua up in there when they get home. Like, no, she did not do that. No.
Where you guys skiing at?
There's a Passover in the mountains up here.
Okay.
So they'll be going skiing up in Leavenworth. So yeah, that's what we're doing. But we normally don't celebrate almost at Thanksgiving. We don't celebrate Valentine's because both Fiznik and I are like, we should be year round, you know, showing each other this type of love. And if we're waiting to just one day to do that, it says a lot about how we value each other. And we prefer to do it all year round and not on this day. But I will say though, I messed up last year, and like I didn't mess up like in a relationship or anything like that.
Right.
But I didn't mess up actually. I tricked him in thinking that I wasn't gonna do anything. But then I bought like 100 balloons, and I like had rose petals laid out.
Aww.
And then I had like candles lit like in like a little aisle and everything that led to like this beautiful like homemade pasta dish that I made that was like stuffed in bread. And then like I bought some of his like these like stuffed pastries that they make in his country. So I went to this like Balkan restaurant and like got some of his favorite pastries and like got some bottles of wine and like had it all lit up. He had no idea that I was doing any of this. So when he came home, he was like,
and then he's like, damn, I didn't get you nothing.
He was mad. He was mad. He was like, you didn't even give me a chance to do something. I was like, sorry. So I learned from there.
Yeah.
As happy as he was, the next day he was like, damn.
He felt bad.
Yeah, because you know, like, he didn't want to feel like he owed me. He felt kind of like, damn, I didn't do nothing for you. Like, now I feel like I need to do something for you. And then I had to explain to him, I was like, when I do nice stuff, I do it just because I love to. Like, that's kind of acts of service is one of my love languages. Like, I just love doing little things and love, you know, treating the people that I love with like little things here and there and stuff like that. So
I hear Corey screaming at the radio right now saying, hell no, you better buy me something. He's probably literally saying, fuck that, I want something. That's his love language. Like, he likes gifts like that.
We don't do any of that. Like, I think the only times we ever like buy each other gifts is like maybe for a birthday or maybe for Christmas. But like, if Adam needs something, you know, either he gets it or I just get it for him. If I need or want something, I get it or he get like we're doing this all throughout the year. So like, it feels very like disingenuous for like, oh, Easter, I'm gonna, you know, do an Easter basket for you, and you know, like, oh, Valentine's Day, and let me get you your heart-shaped box of chocolates, and let's go to a romantic restaurant that has a red rose on the table, like, you know, that kind of bullshit.
Like Andre 3000 said, Happy Valentine's Day. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing. Actually, no, I like cards. I'm one that I like cards just because that you have to take a little time to find a good card. So that means stuff to me. Especially if you write like a little note in it. I'm like, you had to actually take the time to find a card, write something in it, lick that damn envelope, and put like, I like that effort of you to do it. Like, it doesn't have to be this grandiose thing. I don't need all that. But like, cards get me every time. And that's taken Corey a while to understand, because for him, he's like, I don't want a card. I want a gift. But for me, like, it is something special that you actually took the time, especially now. It's harder and harder to find cards. Like Hallmark stores are closing left and right.
Mm-hmm.
So for you to actually take a trek and find a damn card, I'm like, the effort was there. So community, let us know what you're doing for the 14th.
No, let us know what you're doing after the 14th.
Oh, ow, the night
That's what we want to know. For all y'all that got that heart-shaped bed, being all romantical.
Make sure y'all check the streets at the hotel. Okay, bring a black light.
Ooh.
That'll shut things down real quick.
The sheets,
You don't
the
want to know.
walls, the everything.
You don't want to know. No, you just get in that bed, you do that thing, and you get out and just, like erase it.
Just add to the mess. Just roll around in the mess.
Disgusting.
It reminded me of that show. What was that show on MTV, Room Raiders, where there'll be like 3 people, and the person would just go to each person's room, and they would pick a person to go on a date with based off of what they find in their rooms. And just like,
what?
Yes.
Yep,
yes. And
that.
so like they would have a black light, and they would literally be like taking the black light, going through people's rooms. Oh, girl. I was like, they need to bring that show back. They need to bring that back. Mm-hmm.
Like, these are legit people. These weren't like staged rooms.
No,
these were like legit. They lived there.
Mm-hmm. They lived there.
And obviously, like, they do casting and everything, but whoever got casted, they just roll up in their room, turn that light off, and turn that black light on, and they're sitting in the van or whatever.
And they're watching it.
Wait, who's in the van watching it? The person's
the
room
3 people.
that it is?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
With
god.
the other 2 guys. So all 3 of the people that are in, like, that the person finding a date, all 3 of them are in the same van. So they're watching the person go to each of the 3 rooms together. Yes. Yes, live. Mm-hmm. That show was good. Or the other show, Parental Control, that was good. Yes.
And I feel like Lady Gaga was on one of those shows.
Wait.
Like, an early Gaga, like she was still Stephanie at the time. And it's on like YouTube. She was on
I'm going to have
one
to
of the shows.
look that up.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I wonder if she was the one who was being replaced.
Let me look it up here.
Because that would be funny. I mean, can you imagine today, especially with all the social media, and how big the internet now is? Shows like this would be so fucking messy. Like, just imagine your dad being like, I don't like your significant other, so I'm gonna put you on this date with this other person, and we gonna watch my son go on this date with this new person, and we gonna see how it goes. She was on
Boiling Point. That's what
she was on. Boiling Point.
Boiling Point.
Yeah.
In 2005.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, trashy TV.
Oh.
Were those like MTV shows or what?
Yeah, they were MTV shows.
Wow.
When's the last time you watched MTV though?
I forgot it was still a channel, to be honest.
Ooh.
Yeah. I never think of it ever.
I know. Me either.
You know what? I lied. What was that one show, Dewan? We watched this. Are You the One? That was the last time I watched MTV.
But you know what? Like, I mean, that was just on DVR, so I don't know where it gets it from.
It's like one of them shows.
I just
YouTube. Something.
Animal Kingdom. No, but that show was cute. It got messy. It got like MTV messy, but it was cute.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh man!
Speaking of messy,
right?
Oh, go ahead. No, I'll let you go.
Wait, who's messy? I was about to say, you know who else is messy? We're on the same point.
Who's? No, you go.
I was gonna say Nancy Pelosi.
Yes. I was gonna say it too.
And I am all the way here for Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah. I am too. She's a mood. That's a mood of 2020. Like, I'm just
literally,
man. When she ripped them transcripts up, I said, "Yes, sis. Yes,
she's your spirit animal, your spirit human."
Yeah. And then all the people getting in the uproar about her doing that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like,
I know. Homeboy didn't even shake her hand. So, like, if you want to talk about petty, like, we could talk petty for petty all day.
I bet he was, but I bet he was mad that he didn't get the top story.
Facts.
You know, because like I feel like the Democratic Party, obviously, we've known for this entire time that nothing was going to happen, right? We've known this entire time. At least he got the impeachment, so he is part of the impeached presidents. But at any rate, I just lost my thought.
But the State of the Union.
Oh, yes. So like I can imagine, since they all knew that this was going to happen, one of their strategies was, we have to control the media coverage. So we have to come up with something to happen so that we can control the narrative. Yeah. And what better way to just rip that piece of paper up right behind him?
I was here for it. Like,
that was a move. That's a boss ass bitch move. You know, when you know you 100% that bitch, when you got the cojones to be like, let me show you.
Fuck your speech.
Fuck you and your speech, bitch. What?
Because remember, last year was her hand clap too.
Was her clap, right?
Hand clap. So Nancy Pelosi just got a whole string of these boss ass moves. And you know what? I'm gonna put her up there with Auntie Maxine. Them two are a whole move for real.
But Auntie Maxine has been pretty quiet lately.
Yeah, she has.
She did good though. Her during the whole impeachment trials, maybe a week or two ago, she gave a good speech. I was like, "Oh, Auntie Maxine back."
But I feel like we might have to be watching out for Nancy Pelosi, because like
I know
her like impression and her views on like on Donald, it's almost like it's getting like more and more aggressive. First she would give like, you know, side eye looks, then that turned to a passive aggressive clap, and then it turned into her ripping some paper behind him. So we're gonna find out how mad she is the next time they have to meet.
She about to throw a shoe or something.
Right, exactly.
I don't blame her. I'm frustrated too, Nancy. So I'm right there with you. And my whole thing is like, people are like, oh, she's so petty. Bitch, now y'all want to talk about pettiness? Like, come on, fuck out of here. Like, like the president is the king of petty.
Right.
Like, that's all he knows. So sometimes you gotta stoop to their level and speak their language. And that's what
was that? That sounds like some words of Petty Kerel. I love it. I love it.
You rubbing off on me, girl.
Yes.
Are you losing some feelings?
Look.
I must be. I done gave her my feelings and then took some of her non-feelings, and we just stirring it all up. But seriously, sometimes you just gotta. They ain't hearing you speaking like eloquently, and okay, I'll show you petty then. Like, you want to be petty? Here we go.
You know, this is like Black History Month, and you know, I keep thinking about like the difference of the approaches that, you know, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, that they had. You know, one was like passive resistance, you know, and the other one was by any means necessary. And I just wonder, like, you know, for that time, obviously there was a mix of both, but not as much of the by any means necessary. But I'm just wondering, like, you know, if we get to a place where we have to like really kind of like rally ourselves, are we more like, you know, team MLK, you know, or are we more like team Malcolm X?
I don't know. And I mean, a lot of the MLK stuff came from Bayard Rustin. So, you know, he just got acquitted finally after 50 years. So that's awesome news. And LGBTQIA plus icon, especially in the POC community. But I don't know. Like, I'm probably more MLK just because I ain't going to be fighting nobody and shit like that. But sometimes you got to fight flame with flame.
Yeah.
And that's why we got Auntie Kerel. Like,
I am not above it. I am not above it. No.
When they go low, high, you go lower.
When they go low, we go lower. We take it to the grave.
We go low west.
And you keep your ass where you at.
Oh man, and it's funny. Like, I'm finally reading Michelle Obama's Becoming book. I've had it forever since it came out. It's my second book for this year. So everybody said, "Oh, you ain't gonna be reading nothing, bitches." I'm book 2. Come on now, and it's only been 30 days.
Okay.
And it's just interesting to hear a lot of her background and how she's obviously became Michelle Obama. And it's just been inspiring, you know, and I'm listening to the audiobook because I wanted to hear it in her words and the way she articulates it and things like that. And it's been interesting to do it that way instead of the voice in my own head. And man, we've just come a long way since the Obamas in the house. Like, it's just like, how did we get here? Like, how, Sway? Like, those 8 years were just so nice. Like, and like, I miss them so much. And it's just like, and every day just seems like such a battle. And then even like the Iowa caucus and all that stuff. And once again, I'm going to vote for whoever gets it, but it looks like they're saying at least Pete is the one that's winning the Iowa caucus right now. 2020 is just going to be a wild ass year. It's going to be a long ass year. And it's just day in, day out, something new, something crazier, something pettier. And I just need Michelle and Barack back. That's what this book has made me realize.
Going back to the Iowa caucus, I think it's cool to see that a gay man
absolutely
is like leading that Iowa caucus. Like, I think that's really awesome. However, I just don't think he's the one that's going to win the election. I just, like, of everyone, I don't think he's going to be the one to beat Trump, just because so much of that middle America is still very homophobic, and so much of that's going to he's going to. I don't see him really, but I guess, I mean, Iowa's part of America, middle America, and if they can, then maybe there's hope for everyone else. Except for Wisconsin, because they just garbo, so they ain't going blue anytime soon. They so far behind. It don't make no damn sense.
Did you see that that video though, real quick, on Pete? Speaking about like the homophobia, there was a lady that voted for Pete and then immediately found out that he was gay, so she didn't know he was gay, and somehow like a couple minutes later she found out he was gay. And took back her vote, and it's all on camera. And like she's like, "Oh, I can't vote for a gay man," and this and that. So it was just interesting that like that they might agree on everything else, but the second you find out he's gay, all of that's out the window.
Yeah, no, for real.
You know, that's so mind-boggling still in 2020. But anyway, what were you about to say?
I was going to say, I had a dream about Pete last night.
Oh, what kind of dream? Was it a wet dream?
No, God, no. That is not my type. Definitely not my type. But no, like in my dream, it was where like we were friends, like he knew me or whatever. And then like, all of a sudden, I started feeling like I was being used to get the black vote, and then I tried to call him out on it, and he tried to like hush me, and then all of a sudden he was like ignoring my text messages and phone calls and stuff like that. So then I just rolled up on him in Iowa and be like, "I know you hear me, Pete. See, this is what we're talking about. If you can't hear me, how you gonna hear the rest of my people? See, what you not gonna do?"
Drew even goes off in her dreams.
In my dreams. Yeah.
Speaking of like trying to get the black vote, y'all, like Trump is trying so hard to push that message.
That
like he
fucking ad. Did y'all see that Trump ad during
Super Bowl?
Oh, I was livid.
I
was so livid.
Like I couldn't even like because when it first came on, like I was like, is this like, are they gonna be like, psych, like my bad? Like then it's like paid by the Trump party administration, and I was like, oh my God, they spent millions of dollars at the Super Bowl to get a couple ads to make it appear that more black people are actually for Donald Trump.
Right.
I was like,
$5 million for 30 seconds.
Girl.
Whoa.
I could not believe it. And then they had the nerve to say he's reuniting so many families.
Oh my God.
I screamed. I was like, the lies. They just keep, like Candy says, the lies.
Right.
Like it was just one after another. I was
it
like,
was too much.
Like she wasn't even on your radar until Kim Kardashian, did the research and met with her and the lawyers, and then met with you to like get her pardoned. Like you weren't even that had nothing to do with you except for signing the fucking pardon. That's it. That's it. And then for you to take the clip of a very precious moment for her and her family and to use it as if it's something that you personally had the biggest hand in doing. Oh my God. I couldn't. And then the reuniting families part. And I was like, how many people you got separated at the goddamn borders? And I sat there the rest of the day and I was just like, I
can't.
I don't even know. I
didn't watch the State of the Union address, but I guess he was doing similar tactics even during the State of the Union from articles I was reading. So I'm just like, he's not playing no games. So people, as I pound the desk, I'm sorry, please register to vote, rally your friends, rally your neighbors, rally your community, because they are not playing games this year.
They're not.
They are not playing games. So we got to play harder and make sure that we show up to vote. Register all your little kids, like people that are like young. We need the young to the old to come out. We need the brown to the black to the yellow to the green to the purple to the blue to the whatever. We like it.
Let's be clear. In the 4 years or going on 4 years that he's been president, he has not spoken on any of the killings and the unarmed of Black people that have been murdered by the police. He has not said anything about that. We are now several days into Black History Month, and once again, he has not acknowledged that it is Black History Month at the beginning of the fucking month. On top of that, he has not been there for our people at all, or any people of color. And it's like the first time through, he was attacking the middle America with Hispanics are racist and are rapists and stealing your jobs, etc. And now he's trying to play to the Black perspective. He is really trying to divide this country. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. Absolutely. It is so important. It is so important. And like we've said before, and especially me, I don't give a fuck who the Democratic nominate. Get my vote. Get my vote. Because at the end of the day, everybody is better than this man.
Yes.
Period.
That's a fact.
Period. But we know that the electoral vote is not a true representation of what America is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're completely playing the numbers game. Don't be a statistic.
Please don't.
Vote.
And if you're for Bernie, and if Bernie don't get it, don't do a 2016. I swear, don't do it. Oh my God, don't do a 2016. Don't vote.
Get throat punch if you want to. I'm all about it. I'll put the good lotion on too, on my knuckles just for you. So you'll get left smelling like shea cocoa butter right beneath your neck. Just.
Oh, see, I'm getting all riled up. Oh, let me get my blood pressure back down.
Yeah. Oh, but then there's a bunch of shit like that happening. Like even with like Barnes and Noble, and they using that book of Black faces to represent that it's Black History Month. I mean, it's a full ass book of nothing but white people in blackface. Mm-hmm. How in the hell can you think that is a great way to promote Black History Month? They ain't black.
I swear people be
so
trying to work our nerve.
I just find it so, like, it's so hard to believe that they are just that stupid. Like, in my mind, I keep coming up with all kinds of, like, conspiracy theories as to how this could ever have come to be. But, like, they just keep doing it.
And it just shows they don't have people at the higher ranks of these companies. That's what that shows.
I like Amanda Seales. We call that person Jamal the intern. Companies like that need a Jamal the intern.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because, so we can have some representation and someone to speak up.
Right. And it's got to be a Jamal. It can't be like a David. It's got to be someone with a blackity black name.
Yeah. Right, it got to be a Jamal.
To be like, hold up, this ain't it. This is not it. I don't get it. Even at Michigan State, like in the window, they had
at the bookstore,
black people hanging from trees.
Yeah, how you
like what? Drake?
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Like, it's so mind-boggling. It is so
makes
mind-boggling.
no sense to me. Just
It's so frustrating. It really is.
But I mean, again, that's exhibit 473,000 of why Black History Month is so important. And for those of y'all listening who may get tired of us saying it's Black History Month, it's Black History, this is why. Because there are people out here that don't give a fuck about us. So guess who got to give a fuck about us? We do.
Us. It's true. It's true. Because I have no words. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just grunting over here because it's just irritating that in 2020 there are still people that just literally do not see us for us as human beings, and that is I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't want to understand it. However, that's why we're pushing our podcast. That's why even on our social media, we're pushing and uplifting people within our community to remain visible. Mm-hmm. Representation matters, showing the spectrum of us as well. That was really the main point of emphasis for this podcast, is just to show the spectrum of what it is to be a POC. And obviously, in our case, a Black man, a Black gay man, to show that it's not just one thing. It's not whatever the stereotype you have in your head is, that we're educated, that we're well-versed in life. We're, diverse in our thought and our everyday movements. Like, that's why we're here. And that's why we continue to put this podcast out, so that people don't put murals up in windows of us hanging from trees because they look at us as animals. We are not animals. We're human beings. So stop it. Like, I can't take it anymore.
So speaking of why we here, how do y'all feel about Nicki Minaj's verse that has been talked about and leaked?
See, my blood pressure up. I'm about to say Nicki, shut up too. Like,
so Kerel, why don't you tell the community what the verse was?
The verse, let me look it up real quick. I don't know if memorized because she rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, she said, so I guess she has a new song. So clearly, here's the thing. Nicki's been like MIA for the last few months.
Well, now she's all back
on social media again. Say again?
She was supposed to have retired.
Well,
remember that conversation?
This verse. And I think she must have got some, this is me putting rumor mill out there. But, no, I'm not even going to say it. Never mind. Anyway, her verse says, all you bitches, Rosa Parks, get your ass up. And so I guess this was on a snippet of something she played on her IG story. So the song ain't even out yet all the way. And people are upset because, A, leave Rosa Parks out of it. It's Black freaking History Month. Right. And then B, the lyric doesn't even make sense because she sat her ass down. And so you're telling all these bitches to get up. And they looking at you like, no, bitch, you walk somewhere else. So, that's the rebuttal to this own lyric. So, it doesn't make sense, Nicki. So, come on. You got to be a little more sensitive to your lyrics. Yes, I get it. It could be a hot line, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So, don't put this shit out on Black History Month. You can wait till March 1st.
I wish you would come out with just another, banger. I would... forget about how nasty she is or can be and all that kind of stuff. I so appreciated when she first came out, and her last couple of songs have just been trash. just don't feel like anything, sound like anything, look like anything. It's unforgettable.
The last song I liked was Chun Li.
Yeah, that was a banger.
Yeah.
But I want her to have that. I want her to have that because I feel like she's so bitter, and she's putting all this bitteration out there in the community, because she's not where she needs to be. She is talented, obviously. I don't know who, you don't agree that she's talented?
No, I think she is for sure. Oh. I think she's dope.
Yeah.
I think she's at the point of her career that she needs to be a little more responsible with her lyrics.
I don't know. I like it. I think it's one of those petty lines where, you were like, oh, so you think you're going to do this? Bitch, jump. Let's go. When I hear that line, that just, and low key just make me want to be ratchet and just fight. Like, bitch, stand up. You feeling froggy? Leap. Let's go. You know, I don't know. I think me personally, that's what I get out of it. I don't really look too much in the fact that she's talking about Rosa Parks. I mean, I feel like the Rosa Parks reference just made that much more like boss bitch because, like you said, Rosa sat down. She's like, I ain't moving. And I feel like if you got balls enough to say something like that to Rosa, then you better be a boss ass bitch. You better be badder than Rosa Parks, you know? So I think she was just trying to reference, being like, you know, I don't care who you is, get up, you know?
And she knew what she was doing. A song is like 3 minutes long, and for her to just play that particular clip, she knew what she's doing. So
she needed to get the conversation going.
I mean, and as far as Lick Rise, I mean, I won't forget in 2010, like when on the Pink Friday album, when I first heard Roman's Revenge, like a Dungeon Dragon, like with Eminem, that shit went hard. Man, she snatched everybody goddamn wig, bro. That 2 front teeth bitch just drugged everybody.
I stole that Busta Rhymes line.
Man, like that's the Missy. I mean, that's the Nicki that I miss so much. Like that hard, like I don't give a fuck, you know.
She need Roman back.
Yeah, she need Roman back. She need Roman back.
Her verse on that new Meghan Trainor song isn't bad. Like,
it's not bad.
It's not bad at all. So I mean, she's there, and I like Nicki. Nicki's a dope lyricist, point blank. Period. But it's just like, when you're that good, you don't need gimmicks. Maybe that's what's rubbing me the wrong way. You know,
probably part of the problem.
I mean, but she was very gimmicky at the beginning, though. I mean, she had the crazy colored wig.
But she doesn't need to do it now.
She needed that then.
She don't need it now.
She don't need it now.
I mean, but again, that's kind of it helped her get here. It's kind of like Lady Gaga, to be honest. I feel like that
is true. I do want the meat dress back.
That craziness kind of helped her get into that lane. You get what I'm saying? Like when she did all that gimmicky stuff, that's when she was more natural and raw. You know, I feel like she's more gimmicky now by being like very PC and caring about what everyone else got to say. You know, just be like, just say whatever the fuck you want to say. You know, like. I'm here for it. But, you know, I also live that life. So, you know,
you do live that
exactly. Life. She's preaching to herself right there.
Right. Okay. I was giving myself a pep talk, you know.
Lord. Anyway, community, thanks for rocking with us. Make sure you subscribe, download, share.
Yes.
Please do those 3 things for us. Like, share with your friends. We want to see this on Facebook. We want to see this on Instagram. Keep mentioning us. We're starting to see a lot more people mention us. People were feeling your preaching last week, Dewan. People were feeling your preaching.
Yeah.
You preached to our souls last week when you said, how you going to be... what'd you say? I'm trying to think exactly how you said it. How you gonna be cancel culture for celebrities that you don't know, but won't even be cancel culture in your own group or something like in your own friends? That was the realest shit since sliced bread.
There's a lot of people that are walking around here with a whole bunch of people that they shouldn't be.
Facts.
Still, I still feel that a week later.
Yeah.
But continue to share these moments. We'll continue to put it out there, but also share back with us what you enjoyed out the episode. And we'll retweet them, Instagram them, repost them, and all that stuff. But
tag us in the comments too. Like when you guys are reading those stories, or you see something happening, or you know you think it could be a good topic to discuss, or ask your aunties, your intros, like. Get involved. Like, we love when you guys get involved with it, because it just makes this, what we do, like that much more fun for us. Because we're like, we talk, you know, like we imagine y'all in this conversation with us, especially when y'all suggest topics to us. We're like, well, Smithy said, you know, and then we be like, oh, I can't wait for her to listen to this, you know.
Smithy be on it. Smithy be breathing the shit out of us.
Yes.
Which is fun. Like, if you don't agree with us, don't agree with us. We love that. So yes, we love the camaraderie with our community members. But continue to download, share, and subscribe. And happy Valentine's Day. Even if you don't celebrate it, get that little D, get some A, and
go get pregnant, y'all.
We'll see y'all. We'll see y'all around Thanksgiving.
All 3 of you.
All 3 of you. It may be 5 or 6. Who knows?
Hey, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
Some people just don't learn. They got to learn the hard way.
Right.
Literally and physically.
Literally, thank you. You beat me to the punchline. Oh, man. All right. We'll see you next week.
Bye, community.
Love y'all.